I have been working with Lee for, I think it's about over a year. And I remember, each meeting he would ask me, when's the last time that you had a bad incident? And I'd be like, yesterday. I don't know, like, I don't feel, like I'm doing that well. And I just felt like I kept, almost like failing. And it just took me my own time and practice over and over with Lee to really build that confidence. And I remember earlier this year, so this was in January, I was actually on my way driving back to Iowa after ending a 9-year relationship. And so I was very stressed. We didn't record the call. And I just remember, I was like, wow, I'm having in a like, I finally understand this. And I hadn't been giving myself enough credit for how far I had come in my 20-year-long stuttering journey. 7 months out of those 20 years is 8%. So as a data analyst, this is how I think. Only 8% of the time that I had been stuttering had I truly been able to work on a solution. And I started the program because I wanted to lose the emotion behind stuttering, because as you all know, it's a pretty stressful thing to have. We have to talk all the time because we are social beings. And I was just tired of it. I had met with various counselors and speech therapists throughout my life. When I was a kid in elementary school, trying to understand what is happening to me, like why am I all of a sudden doing this? Didn't get rid of it. And then I saw someone in college, also did not help. I saw someone after I started my full-time job after graduate school. Because when I started that job, I don't know about you guys, but I know when I start a new job, my speech gets kind of off track, you could say, just because I'm trying to make an impression, and I know that everyone's listening to me. I would say more because I'm new. And I remember at that point, I'm like, I need to try to see someone again. And she basically told me that I was never going to get rid of stuttering, and that I needed to make peace with it and accept it. And my whole life, even that, I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, because why can't I speak fluently sometimes then? Like, I don't understand why I can't do it all the time. I need someone to help me speak fluently almost all the time. Why can I not do that? And as a psych major and an avid logical thinker, I thought that that was possible. And it wasn't until I came across Lee's book on Amazon in 2019 that I finally felt I wasn't alone in this belief. On the cover, it says, if I can say one word anywhere, anytime, I can say any word anywhere, anytime. And I was like, yes, that's that's exactly what I've been thinking. And as I started to read the book, I started to feel relief. There were people who trained themselves to not stutter anymore. Like, that's what I've been looking for. So I did end up showing the book to that last therapist. She said she would not help me with it because she thought that would deter me, from accepting stuttering. So I kind of went through a period where I didn't read the book for a year. I just felt helpless. And, just one day I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to finish reading this. I emailed Lee, asked if I could meet with him. He was like, well, I don't know at first. And then he's like, yep, we will do this. And here I am. Lee provided so much support and made me truly believe that I could get through this when no one else did. I joke with him that I messed up his average timeline for program completion because I took a little longer than others in the program at 7 months. But as I mentioned before, I had to get here in my own way. And that's, I guess, how I am with everything, whether I'm in a job that I need to leave or a relationship that I need to leave. It's until my brain kind of has that moment that I finally change my own mind. And as I mentioned in January, when I met with Lee after, all of that happened, that's when I had that switch. And I remember sitting there with him and I was asking, I was like, why am I putting myself through all of this stress for other people? Stuttering is a form of perfectionism. And I didn't really realize that again until this moment. That's why we're doing it, because we want to sound perfectly fluent. We don't want to be embarrassed. We want to appear intelligent. We want to impress other people. But stuttering only exists out of fear, and fear is actually not real. Fear is what we do up here. So I was like, why am I subjecting myself to this like stress? And stress, releases cortisol. Every time that you get yourself super worked up, you're actually like taking away minutes from your life. So think about whether that's worth it, like it's not. So I just said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to let someone else, especially strangers, control me in any way anymore. And so again, that was that like moment where I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. So other things that helped me get to this point, other than my own working myself through that, definitely reading aloud. Reading aloud is huge for me. I highly recommend Lee's books, his Stuttering and Anxiety Self-Cures and his happiness book, but alternatively, this book, The Daily Stoic. I highly recommend this book, as all my 100 books fall after I read that one, because it has a quote at the top of each day and then a little blurb about it. I like to start my day with that. Lee has also talked about poetry. So something that has kind of meaning with it, reading that out loud with meaning. I start my day with that to remind my brain that I can speak fluently. Other things that helped me was consistently meeting with Lee. So whether for you, that's a peer from this group or, like family member, just consistently keeping that up. Applying my learnings in speech plan to conversations, especially with people that I feel comfortable with, that I can, actively kind of practice that. And focusing on growing my positive speech memory bank. Other things that I have been doing this past year are learning about myself and my emotions. Another really good book is called Nonviolent Communication. And I think it's good for, even non-stutters. The premise of the book is that you start with empathy. And I think that can be applied back to ourselves, but definitely if you're focusing on like someone else too, I think that takes it a little bit out of our mind. And of course, learning the crutches and learning which ones worked best for me took some time. But they were vital for training my mind that I have options, right? So when I get in these stressful situations or find myself stuck, I remind myself I don't have to stutter though, because I can just stop talking. I can pretend that I forgot, or I can go into my speech plan and use a crutch. So I think like knowing that I have options is huge. And then repeating my affirmations a few times a day, especially religiously in the beginning of the program, and listening to them with headphones overnight. I did that for several months. And yeah, so, but reading aloud was major, staying involved in SAC. There are a ton of videos that supplement Lee's book. There's a lot of different meeting times to practice. All that is on the website. I will continue to attend practice sessions when I can to prevent relapse, and to offer and exchange tips with others. I'm so grateful for this program and that Lee helped build this program as a resource and also a source of hope, while other therapy or organizations simply want you to accept that you stutter and move on, but you don't have to stutter. So to close, trust yourself, make the effort, face and deal with your anxiety, make the decision that you will stop stressing yourself out for other people, and make yourself your number one priority. Say, I'm not going to do it anymore. Don't give up. You can do this too. And a quote from the Daily Stoic that I mentioned earlier, we should enjoy this brief time we have on earth, not be enslaved to emotions that make us miserable and dissatisfied.